Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and the Bias Plus reports. Today is April 10th, 2024, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
What's going on out there, everybody? This is Ben Dickerson. I am your co-host. And as promised, I have updated my mock draft. I am now up to mock draft number 2.0. Had to make some changes, and I'm very happy with my changes. I feel good about my draft, even better than I did after I did 1.0, in fact.
Okay, all right, all right. I think the same happened last year, didn't it? Got a little bit better.
Same thing happened last year. I actually had three I did, and 3.0 was mwah, it
Spot
was
on, man.
wonderful. Yeah, it takes time to do this. That's why you'll see Mel Kiper's probably on 7.0 at this point. You know, these guys put a new one out every week, but that's because they continue to hear different information, leaks, if you would, from different teams, things going on with players. Pro days, obviously, I think they're all over now. Changes between how they thought about a guy and what he did at the combine as opposed to what he did at his pro day, or both, or neither in some cases. Interviews. Okay, each team is allowed to bring X number of draftees into town, take them out to dinner, whatever they want to do, and interview them. So they've gone through that. Private workouts for specific teams. All kinds of stuff is going on. But the main thing that prompted me to do a 2.0 at this point, when we're still a couple of weeks out, is because I believe that there's going to be trade of draft picks. To me, it's almost as probable as the Bears taking Caleb Williams first. I think the handwriting is on the wall for this, and I usually try to wait until teams that are either going to move up in the draft or move back actually physically do it. But I think this one's a done deal. It's just a matter of actually, doing it in reality. So I changed my draft to reflect that trade.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, we got a number of great things that we're going to talk about in the current events and hot topics. The UFL had another week. There's some more information out on that. They had some good stuff happening. Um, Remember the trade charts? You're probably more familiar with most people that we're going to talk a little bit about these trade charts because these things are what the NFL uses when they're trying to say, okay, I'm going to give you a six, but you got to give me this, that, and that, you know? So,
Oh, you mean the draft charts?
yeah, yeah, draft.
Okay, and how they do it to weigh like this particular guy is worth this.
Well, it's more so than just this guy. It's this pick. This pick is worth that. The guy happens to
Okay,
fall in the pick there, he's that. So we'll talk a little
okay.
bit more about that, and then some other things that are up there. But I'm interested to hear this mock draft. I'm
Okay.
assuming that what I said to you last week about the Giants and you getting the surprise is not going to happen. The interesting thing was the name that I heard was the name that you were talking about. And all of a sudden, this guy, remember that? So I'm gonna leave it at that for right now and let you
There's
do
been
your
a
thing.
couple of those all of a sudden this guy. But yes, I did in fact change the pick for the Giants.
All right, there you go. So Ben Dickerson's NFL mock draft 2.0. You got it.
Okay, and here we go. Again, I'll try to move quickly, so listen very carefully. If you're keeping up with this thing, and listen carefully for your team, so you'll know ahead of time who they're going to take. Because I'm getting pretty good at this over the years. Anyway, if things didn't change, I'll let you know they didn't change. But if they did change, I will definitely let you know that. Obviously, the number one pick in the draft belongs to the Chicago Bears. I still believe they will take Caleb Williams, quarterback out of Alabama. I believe the Bears GM, Ryan Poles, is convinced that Caleb is their guy. They took him out to dinner twice. Once when he came into town to Chicago for an interview. They took him out again when they went to visit him in LA before his pro day workout. And the word is he's not accepting any more invites to interviews with other teams. So we can pretty much chalk that one. That's a done deal. Number 2 pick goes to the Washington Commanders. I believe they will still take quarterback Jaden Daniels. Some people were saying that perhaps Drake May or J.J. McCarthy might go at number 2 to the Commanders. However, let's remember their new offensive coordinator is Cliff Kingsbury. So when you think about Cliff Kingsbury, the guy who coached Johnny Manziel in college, and also coached Kyler Murray, okay, that makes Jaden Daniels the perfect fit for the kind of offense that this guy tries to run. So Jaden Daniels, number 2 to the Commanders. At number 3, although the Patriots have sort of kind of on the slide threatened to be willing to trade this pick, I don't believe that they will. I believe that they will go ahead and take quarterback Drake May. As I previously said, he's out of North Carolina. Now, they got Jacoby Brissett over there. He's prepared to start. I doubt that Drake May, after they take him, will push Jacoby Brissett for the starting position. However, I believe that they will try to groom him to be ready in case Jacoby Brissett stumbles or gets injured or whatever. Obviously, when you take a quarterback in the draft, you would hope that you would have time to groom him and get him ready, you know. But when you take him that high, he's got to be able to start if you need him to. So there you have it. I believe they'll go ahead and take Drake May and try to groom him and get him ready. He has the size, he has the arm strength, he has the mobility. They've even mentioned his name in the same breath, skill-wise, with Josh Allen. So that's a guy that they're trying to compare him with. Now, here's the big move right here. The number 4 pick belongs to the Arizona Cardinals. I believe that the Minnesota Vikings will package their 2 first-round picks, one of which they got from the Texans, and give those 2 first-round picks along with either other picks later in this draft or perhaps another one in 2025 so that they can move up to number 4. Give the Cardinals, actually, at this point, if the Cardinals do this move, which I think they will have 3 number 1 picks. And I'm going to get to that, okay? But right now we're talking about the Vikings. I believe they are in love with J.J. McCarthy. I believe that they think Sam Darnold is a solid backup quarterback. He's veteran. He's been around. He's worked in a couple different offenses. But they're not going to hang their hat on this guy. They're going to go after J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan, another quarterback. Everybody else is all over this trade, although it hasn't happened yet. I'm all over it too. I believe the Vikings specifically got that extra number 1 pick from the Texans to make a move just like this. They just haven't made it yet. You know, they have 11 and 23 overall. I believe they will give them to the Cardinals to get that number 4 pick and take J.J. McCarthy, who will be their quarterback of the future. Now, that changes some things. And I will let you know if the guy that I have coming up for each team from that here on is a different guy or the same guy I picked in my mock draft 1.0. Number 5 pick goes to the Chargers. They now will take wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Jim Harbaugh could not be happier about this. I tell you what, Jim Harbaugh is a smart guy. You know, as soon as he got, even before he took the Chargers job, he talked up J.J. McCarthy like crazy. I think he believed that if he could talk up J.J. McCarthy enough, and he had a good pro day, which he did, that he could possibly get him in that top 3 or 4, which would leave a player like Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Chargers picking at number 5. If, in fact, he planned it that way, I believe that's going to turn out for him just like that. So Justin Herbert gets a wide receiver of, this guy could be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I don't want to look too far ahead. But yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. to the LA Chargers. Now, at number 6, I think, and I believe I said there were 2 picks that I picked for 2 teams, yours and mine, that I did with my heart and not with my head. I'm going back to my head, okay? As bad as I want the Giants to get another quarterback, I know that they still have a year to give Daniel Jones, and they can still get out of his contract. So I think the Giants are going to take the next best thing to Marvin Harrison Jr. That's wide receiver Malik Neighbors out of LSU. Um, if Harrison is the best non-quarterback in this draft, then Malik Neighbors is the next best. So I believe the Giants will go ahead and take him. At number 7, the Tennessee Titans. Now they get offensive tackle, the biggest and most polished offensive tackle in the class. That's Joe Alt. He's out of Notre Dame. They're still in need of a pro-ready offensive tackle, and this is the number 1 guy at that position. So that'll be a good pickup for the Titans. At number 8, the Atlanta Falcons need an edge rusher. They got to tighten up that defense because if you look at your offense, now that they've got Kirk Cousins, they're looking pretty good on offense. So the edge rusher I believe they will take is Dallas Turner out of Alabama. I know the Falcons run a 3-4 defensive scheme. Turner's size and speed and athleticism make him perfect for that scheme. At number 9, the Chicago Bears get the pick again in the first round. And now they take wide receiver Rome Odunze. Now, people are going to say I'm crazy about this one. They already got DJ Moore. They traded for Keenan Allen. Why don't they get an offensive lineman to make sure that they, you know what? I think they're going to go for the overkill on skill position. If they get Roma Dunze and put him with DJ Moore, Komet at tight end, and Keenan Allen, their receiver core will be up there with the tops in the league. No doubt about it. They'll be top 3. They'll be top 3. So although I believe they should go offensive line, I think they're going to take Roma Dunze. They can't let a talent like that get by. They're just going to be greedy about it. I can't blame them. I can't blame them. Number 10, the New York Jets take an offensive tackle. J.C. Latham out of Alabama. That's a pick that I already picked in my mock draft 1.0 for them. I believe he will still be there for them, and they will still take him. Again, another big, strong guy. Can't let him get away. They need help on their offensive line. They'll go ahead and take him. At number 11, the Cardinals take the first pick that they got from the Vikings in their trade, and they're going to go for a much-needed receiver to help out Kyler Murray. That'll be Brian Thomas Jr. He's the other wide receiver out of LSU. 6'3", 209 with a 4.33 40. Exceptional burst, real great ball skills. This guy is deadly on deep routes and short routes. Got size, speed, hands. He's going to make a big difference for that offense. He's going to help Kyler Murray out a lot. At number 12, the Denver Broncos. Okay, we've seen what's going on with the Denver Broncos. All that trouble between Peyton, the head coach, and Russell Wilson and all that. This coach is a stickler about quarterbacks, and he's had a great, great career based on Drew Brees. So he needs a quarterback that he can build and mold in the mold of Drew Brees, and I think he's going to go after Bo Nix, quarterback out of Oregon. This is a guy who's shown really good improvement on tape during the 2023 season, and he seems like the type of guy that Sean Payton can go ahead and mold into the type of quarterback that he actually wants. That's very important to him. At number 13, the Las Vegas Raiders also need a quarterback in the worst way. They're going to take my guy, a guy I really, really like, the lefty, Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. I believe they're going to take him. He's going to be their quarterback in the future. Nice arm, great touch, deep and short. Outside the numbers, those throws are nothing for this guy. Good placement on the ball, had a great combine. At number 14, the New Orleans Saints. I forget who I had for them originally, but they need an offensive tackle. I think I had an offensive tackle for them, but now they can get a better one. Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. Offensive tackle is definitely their biggest need. They have a lot of needs, as most of these teams do, but offensive tackle is a really big need for them. This guy is exceptional at pass protection, has all the physical tools to be proficient, and run blocking as well. Big pickup for them, fills a big need for them. The Indianapolis Colts are picking number 15. They're going to take the first cornerback off the board. That'll be Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. More polished than his running mate, Kool-Aid McKinstry, who has the fancy name and has a better 40. But Terrion Arnold is a more polished corner than McKinstry. I believe he'll be the first corner off the board. Number 16 goes to the Seattle Seahawks. They need help on defense. They're going to get a top-notch edge rusher, Jared Verse, out of Florida State. Elite athleticism, size, and speed, and he has the ability to pressure the quarterback and stop the run. He's going to be big time on defense for them. Should be able to start right away. The number 17 pick goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They also need offensive help. I still have them pegged, as I did in 1.0, picking up offensive lineman Troy Fautanu out of Washington. Offensive tackle size with the ability to jump down inside and also play guard, so wherever they need him. I think they're pretty needy at guard, but this guy can do both. He has the skills to do both. Good run blocker, good pass protector. He'll be able to probably start day one for them. At number 18, the Cincinnati Bengals also need offensive help. They're going to go after Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Mims is a late bloomer, but he made significant impact for Georgia's team in the 2023 season. He is huge at 6'8", 340 pounds, and he too can play tackle and guard. So wherever they need him, they should be able to plug him in there. Oh boy, we're almost halfway done. Number 19 goes to the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams had a really dynamic offense and should have one again with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and all that stuff going on. But they need help on D, especially in the secondary. So they're going to grab another corner. That's going to be Nate Wiggins. He's out of Clemson. Big need for the Rams will be filled by this speedster who has the versatility to play really well in man and in zone coverage. Number 20 pick, Pittsburgh Steelers. Offensive help is what they need. I had them taking the tackle, I think, in 1.0. But now I'm going to go someplace where I know they need a bigger need, which is inside. Here's a guy, Jackson Powers Johnson. You may have heard his name mentioned for the Eagles, perhaps. He can play center and guard and play them very proficiently. He was Bo Nix's center at Oregon. He was voted the best center in college football last season. He's equally skilled at run blocking and pass protection. Doesn't really play tackle, although I believe he has the size to do so, but he specializes playing center or guard. The 21st pick, number 21, goes to the Miami Dolphins. Got to protect Tua, man. Got to protect Tua. So they go after an offensive tackle, Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Another big, massive dude, 6'8", 322 pounds. Guyton is a premier pass blocker, which is just what Tua needs. Could use a little work with his run blocking, but he's a premier pass blocker already before he even gets to the NFL. Number 22, the Philadelphia Eagles. I had them taking the corner, Quinyon Mitchell. I still have them taking the corner, Quinyon Mitchell. Slay and Bradbury are on their last legs. Some people may say Bradbury's time's actually passed, although he's still on the team. Quinyon Mitchell can probably come in and play slot corner right away or nickel. And if one of those old guys falters, he should be ready to take over. He's very fast. He's very physical. And he locks down his area in zone coverage. So, in fact, that's an actual strength for him, zone coverage. Excuse me, I forget how much man-to-man the Eagles play, but I know they kind of got away from it a little bit last year out of necessity. But we'll see how Quinyon Mitchell fits in with the Eagles. At number 23, the Arizona Cardinals get to pick again, another pick that they got from the Vikings, or the other pick that they got from the Vikings. And I think they will take an edge rusher with this one. Latu out of UCLA. I may have had him going. No, I didn't have him going to the Niners. I had him going somewhere else. But now, after all these other things have happened, he'll be available for the Cardinals at 23. think they'll go ahead and take him. He excels at rushing the passer. He showed notable improvement against the run during the 2023 season, so he should fit in nicely for them. At number 24, the Dallas Cowboys. They need offensive line help in the worst way. They lost a guy that might even be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. They didn't win any rings or anything, but he was really good, but he's gone now. Anyway, offensive lineman Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. I do have them taking Fuaga, who can play tackle or guard. I had them taking this guy in my mock draft 1.0, and I think they'll stick with him. I believe he'll fit in very nicely with them. He's got good agility, good hand placement in his pass protection, and he's a real mauler in the run game. And I know Dallas is trying to be able to run the ball a lot, so he's going to fit in very nicely there. At number 25, the Green Bay Packers. They need a safety. I was looking and doing some reading about the Packers and looking back at some old games. They need help in their secondary. They also need linebackers. They also need edge rushers. But I think safety is a big deal for them. And I'm going to tell you this. I believe they're going to take Tyler Nubin as the first safety off the board. He's out of Minnesota. Now, they grabbed Xavier McKinney in free agency. He used to play safety for the Giants, my team. I believe they're going to put McKinney at free safety and grab Nubin because he's a perfect, strong safety. Plays really well in zone coverage. He can cover tight ends. He's proven that he can do that. And he plays up close to the line and excels against the run. This guy could be another Brian Dawkins. I know Eagle fans don't want me saying stuff like that, but that's the kind of player that this guy is. Number 26 pick goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need help on defense. I think they will take D tackle / D end, Chop Robinson out of Penn State. This guy can play D tackle and he can play D end. Now, the Bucs play at Tampa 2, which is like a hybrid 4-3 defensive scheme. So a guy that can play D tackle and D end will be very helpful there. He's already shown the ability to generate a pass rush from different alignments, so he should fit in very well in Todd Bowles' defense. At number 27, the Arizona Cardinals will take another edge rusher, Darius Robinson out of Missouri. Already exceptional against the run. He has the size and physical tools and has displayed the adaptability to be a force rushing the passer also. Should fit in very nicely. Looks like the Cardinals are going to get themselves a nice haul, and they're going to fill 3 needs, all with first-round talent. That's exceptional for them. Good job for the Cardinals. Now, here's a change up. At number 28, the Buffalo Bills. No doubt about it. They lost Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. Looks like the number 1 receiver right now is Khalil Shakir. Can't say anything bad about Khalil Shakir. He had a great season last season, but I don't know that he can fill the number 1 role. So they're going after A.D. Mitchell. It says his name is Adonai Mitchell out of Texas, but everybody calls him A.D., so I'm going to call him A.D. A.D. Mitchell out of Texas at wide receiver, an outstanding combine performance, including a 4.34 40-yard dash, pushed him into late first-round contention. Originally, this guy was looked at as possibly an early second-round pick, but that combine has everybody talking about him. I think the Bills will grab this guy at number 28. At number 29, the Detroit Lions, they need help on defense at a couple of different positions, but especially in their secondary. The Lions D got scorched on a weekly basis. As good as their offense was, they were in a lot of dogfights because teams were able to pass the ball on them. Kool-Aid McKinstry has a very high IQ and the versatility to play on the outside and cover the slot. He should fit in very nicely there and push for a starting position right away. At number 30, the Baltimore Ravens obviously need offensive line help. Good offensive lineman for them is Graham Barton. He's out of Duke. He's a versatile player. He can play tackle or guard. He's got great size, but only average arm length. So that's probably going to push into guard in the pros. NFL tackles, they're really treasured if they have really long arms, and this guy's arms aren't extremely long. So they may end up putting him at guard, but he does have the size to play tackle. He's a tremendous run blocker already. So that's a good thing for the Ravens because obviously they love to run the ball. And now not only do they have Jackson, but they also have Derrick Henry. So this guy's going to fit a bill that they tremendously need, and I think they're going to love him. 49ers pick number 31. I did not change their pick from my draft 1.0. I still have them taking O-lineman Kingsley Sumatai out of BYU. 6'5", 326. Big guy, Bear. Big guy. 6'5", 326. Has the ability to play left or right tackle. Is already a solid pass protector. Got continuously better throughout his college career. So getting better at run blocking shouldn't be a big deal for him. They should be able to coach him up. And the last pick in the first round of the draft, number 32, goes to the Chiefs. And this one's going to warm your heart, Barry. I believe the Chiefs are going to take a reach because I don't know what Rishi Rice is going to end up. That car accident he had was bad. He's got a ton of charges hanging over his head. I think they're going to take a shot and go after your man, Xavier Worthy out of Texas. Tremendous speed and leaping ability. Ran a 4.21 in the 40, 41-inch vertical. Unbelievable. Guy can jump
that's
out
what
of the
I'm
building.
talking about, baby. 4.21.
Yeah, he can jump out of the building and he can run away from anybody. But I found some more stuff out about him. I kind of was taking him lightly, saying, yeah, there's always fast guys at the combine. I did some more work on this guy. He's not just a speedster. He's got soft hands. He's a smooth route runner. He only has one drawback. He's super skinny. 6'1", 165. But I will say this. He's around the same size as Devontae Smith. So we'll have to wait and see. But guys can always put weight on.
Well, but Ben, I saw a replay of him running the 40. And
Yeah,
I said to myself, damn, he's skinny. Just looking at him
he's
running
skinny.
at 40. There's no wind resistance.
No wind. The most wind resistance is his hair.
You know? Oh
Yep.
my goodness. All
So
right,
there
that
you
was an
have it.
excellent rundown. Our one of our followers, Mark, is going to be real proud of you again this week. Quick shout out to Mark Russell. So that was awesome, man. What was there any particular surprises, even in your own picks? And you said, wow, I wasn't expecting this, but this is what I'm gonna have to
Well,
do.
yeah, so when I did the first one, I was really torn about, if the team needed a tackle, and it was pretty clear that that was their number one need. I tried to pick the guy that I thought would best fit them by looking over his attributes, and it was really tough. And as it got later on in the first round, I'm thinking to myself, boy, they would have really loved to have that guy that I
Yeah,
gave to
yeah.
that team. So now after this, some of those guys did fall to the teams that I wanted them to fall to. So that
Okay.
worked out
Okay. Wow, wow. The draft is when?
I believe it's the 25th.
25th. Today is the 10th, so we got about 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks for the draft. Now, you're going to do one more or two more?
I will probably do one more anyway, but I think as we get closer to the draft, some of these teams are going to start pulling the trigger on some of these trades. Somebody's going to trade up, somebody's going to trade back. There could still be some surprises, I'm hearing things, but nothing's actually been done yet. So
Well, it'll be three and then maybe 3.1 or something like that.
we'll see.
We'll see how that goes. All right. Good work. Good work. Or as my grandson would say, good job. That's what he said. Good job. All righty. Let's get ready to move on to our Facebook page and look at some current events and hot topics. Going to a Ben and Barry on football on Facebook, there's a number of things that were going on. And this is something that I had a serious thought about here, where you know the guy they call Destroying, he had been on the
Oh
side.
yeah, absolutely.
So he became the kicker for the Brahmas, the UFL Brahmas. And
That's
apparently
amazing.
fractured his neck on a tackle last weekend. And I
Why
thought
am I
to
not
myself, this
surprised?
brings up the question for the NFL, since they're adopting these rules to increase the number of actual returns. You're going to have some guys like kickers and stuff who aren't normally doing a lot of tackling all of a sudden. And I'm wondering if how that could potentially affect the NFL and even who you pick as a kicker, or how you coach that.
Fear not.
Fear not.
Fear not. First of all, NFL kickers are kickers. This dude is a serious athlete and plays like one, and hence it cost him. Trying to be a hero, making a head-on tackle like that, should have known better. And that's how he got hurt. An NFL kicker, there's no way they're going to try and make a tackle like that. They've been kicked. I mean, changing the kickoff rule isn't, yeah, there's going to be more returns than there has been lately when everybody kicked it out of the end zone. But before that happened, they were still out there running down the field and there were still returns. And you rarely see a kicker get hurt on a kickoff return. I can't even remember. I think I remember a punter pulling a hamstring trying to chase somebody down, maybe. But making a tackle, not going to happen. Some of these dudes kick the ball and run off the damn field. This dude, have you ever watched his videos?
Yeah.
This dude is a super athlete. He
I
can
don't know
do a
about a super
backflip.
athlete, but he's an athlete.
He's for the number of things that he's good at. This guy is an extremely, extremely good athlete. I won't say super, okay? He's an extremely good. Number one, he can quarterback. Number two, he can catch and run routes. Number three, he's fast. Number four, he used to play DB and he can cover people like glue. This guy can do a backflip, throw the ball up in the air, and kick it through the uprights from like 50 yards out. He can punt, he can place kick, and he can kick off. He can do all those things and do them well. This guy's I've been watching this dude for a while. I'm
Okay.
surprised he
All right.
got this
All right.
job. I
So,
didn't realize.
so you don't think it's going to be an issue in the NFL then?
No, it hasn't been.
Well,
Why
it
would it
hasn't
be?
been up to this point. They haven't been. This is a first for the NFL. So, you know, I mean, like you said, they might have to coach him and say, okay, kick the ball, and you run off the field, so you're not even out there. Because I have seen some kickers get hurt. Just even doing a little half butt
Making a
attempts to
tackle?
tackle somebody.
Yeah, they hurt themselves. They
Well,
don't get hurt trying to make a tackle. They get hurt trying to make a vain attempt at making a tackle.
well, okay, you can
This
call
guy made a real
it.
head
All
first
right.
tackle.
Well, we're going to keep an eye on that, because that was just something that kind of popped up in my head, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? Well, Benny, I wanted to put this out. This is the primer on the NFL draft charts, which pretty much have been attributed to Jimmy Johnson being one of the first introducing it. And what it does, it assigns a numerical value to each draft pick. Now, the initial value in his is 3,000 points. There are other charts that are out there, and we'll talk a little bit about them. But they talk about how he used this chart during the trades in the early days, and I guess he got a foot up on the league, because that's back when they were winning championships. Um, there's also one called the Rich Hill Trade Value Model. And that one, instead of starting out at 3,000 for the first pick, starts out at 1,000. So there's slightly different valuations for these. But you can see here, this is the trade chart that he has here. And let me see. Yeah. This is the Rich Hill trade chart. So you can see that the number one pick is 1,000. Then as you go down, it drops. And I remember when we were talking about 3 weeks ago about the relative value of high picks versus lower picks, and some the economists were questioning what their value. So this is the chart that they actually go by. So if, say for example, you have the 97th pick and the 98th pick valued at 32.8 and 32.1, with a 64.9, and you wanted to trade it, well, they'd be looking for something that would add up to 64.9 or greater. For example, number 57 is 70.1. So I might give you a 57 for your 97 and your 98, because you didn't need the 57. I did, and it worked out, for us. But that's just showing how the equivalent values of these things work. So, in the background, when we're hearing about some of these trades, and their trade value, I guess it also would apply to free agents. Take a free agent, I'm going to give you my pick number, 87, and my pick number 103 for your free agent. So it works in terms of that also. That just assigns a relative value to that free agent. So there you go, your charts. I'm sure you were somewhat familiar with them. You got any comments on that?
I mean, this isn't an exact science, but
This is
these
what? Say
charts
that again,
do.
please.
I said this is not an exact science. However, um, the chart does give you some sense of something to go by. It's sort of kind of like how I look at analytics. Like, yeah, that might work sometimes, and a lot of times it's not going to work. Let's take an example. Let's say the number four pick is supposed to be worth 469.4 points, right?
Okay.
Okay. So if the Vikings trade the 11th pick, which is worth 261.1, you want to do this math for me? Two,
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. And what is this again?
the 11th pick is worth 261.1,
Right.
and the 23rd pick is worth 161.5. What does that add up to?
422.6.
Okay, so that's a worthwhile trade. The fourth pick is worth 469.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, if you can get a 469 value for 422, yeah. I mean that kind of makes sense. And the main thing is this: it kind of gave the league something that they could all work off of. We all agree with it. Now, I don't know how these other charts kick in. If I'm using one chart and you're using the other chart, with the different teams. But I think some of that other chart stuff is more for the media and for analysts and stuff like that than it is that for the NFL itself. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll follow along a little bit more with that. But you can get more information from the links on Ben and Barry on football, because we have all of that good stuff right there. Okay, Ben, this is more like announcements than anything else. Just want to say happy birthday. Today's birthday is John Madden. John Madden's birthday. He's a hero of mine from the video game portion, but so many people always loved him, and we always loved him as an announcer as well as a coach. So happy birthday to John Madden. And let me just throw in my granddaughter's birthday is today. Mila is a big 1 years old. So we just had so much fun with her. I had her with us the other day, and it was just amazing to watch her growing up. Okay, Benny, I want to say best of luck in the American Football International, the IFAF Women's European Championship coming up. With Spain can take the title home. Uh, and what is that? Calutanya Zaragoza? Have no idea. But in any event, Spain and Great Britain will battle out for the women's Euro crown. So even over in Europe, the women are getting it in, and it's just a growing sport, no matter how you look at it. Next up, Benny, again, we're going to revisit the fact that the first opening game, game one, will be in Sao Paulo, Green Bay against the Eagles. So, and I think we talked about how Eagle fans would not be real happy with that.
No, but I bet you they'll fill that stadium.
Okay, Eagle fans,
Yep.
get it down there, eh?
Yep. They're
They
saving
do
their money right
travel.
now.
There's no doubt
As soon
about
as they heard, because they announced the Eagles were playing in that game before they announced their opponent.
it. That's true.
So it's been known that they had that game. People have been putting their money away since then.
All righty. Good stuff. Good stuff. Ben, you want to say happy birthday to one Mel Blunt?
Mel Blunt. You know, I have a special affinity for guys who the game had to change because of them. And Mel Blunt is one of those guys. He was a big, big corner who used to manhandle receivers to the point where they had to change the rules to where they are now, where you can't even really touch a guy unless you get him within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage when he first takes off. Can't bump downfield. Back in his day, receivers had to run their routes and fend off the D-back at the same time. And he just drove guys crazy because he was so big and strong and fast enough to run with him. So, yeah, they had to change the game from Mel Blunt. Great player.
All right, Mel Blunt. Happy birthday. Ben, on this date in 2015, Sarah Thomas became the first woman to be assigned full time to an NFL officiating crew. This is
Yeah, there's several women refs now, but she was the first. She's really good too. She does a lot of big games.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the retirement anniversary for one Troy Polamalu. 9 years ago today, he retired. You know? And now we
Another
only
great
see him as
player.
Tiny Troy, as in somebody's hair, telling them what to use some head and shoulders so that those
Stop.
microbes, those little rascals.
Stop. Those little rascals. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Uh,
Matter of fact, you ever see those things on Facebook where people name three players and they say start one, bench one, cut one? You ever
okay.
seen that? So somebody put up Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Brian Dawkins.
Oh my
Start,
goodness.
start one, bench one, cut one. You should have heard the Eagle fans crying. Ah, ah. Come on, man. They couldn't put Doc over. I had Ed Reed number one. I
Okay.
had Palomalo number
Number
two.
two.
And yeah, and Palomalo's stats are tremendous, but Ed Reed's stats topped him in the stats that I consider the most important: interceptions and defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had more picks and he took more picks to the house.
If he did it, if anybody did it, he did it. That's for sure. But
Right.
I don't think he ever jumped over the entire line of scrimmage and
No, no, he
like
didn't do
Troy
none of that stuff.
Amalo did.
Palomalo was better in forced fumbles. He forced a ton of fumbles. His
Mm.
hits, when he hit somebody, the ball flying out, that was a normal thing to see.
Oh
It
yeah.
just whoop, just fly out.
Fun times watching Troy Polamalu. Ben, the American Football International will be live streaming the Poland Game of the Week. Now, again, with the name, Białystok Lowlanders and the Silesian Rebels will be playing. And I just think,
This is in
again,
Poland.
Poland.
Okay.
Poland Game of the Week. And, it's just so much fun to see that, you can go to a place like Poland and they're playing American style football. They're strapping it up,
It's
putting the
great.
helmets on. And we're going to see more and more of these guys begin to filter. They already got, different ways for them to filter into the NFL. So as you find more and more of these guys that are specifically, great athletes, you'll find them over
Trust me, these scouts know where these guys are. And when they go and
and
look at these games, and if anybody shows that they could be NFL ready, they'll grab them.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The American Football International, we watch it all. It's football, you guys. Today was Happy Siblings Day. Ben, did you call your brother,
Nope,
sister?
nope. They ain't call me neither.
I just happened for some reason, I looked to see what day it was. You know how they have these sites and they tell you it's National Mashed Potatoes Day and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it just came up, Happy Siblings Day. I was like, uh-oh, I got nothing but sisters. So I had to put something out for my girls. You know, that's for sure. All right, Ben, we got to talk about them. My hero, my money hero, one Mr. Kirk Cousins on the show with Shaquille O'Neal, and he said it was all fake money. Gives a reality check on NFL contracts. But you know what I found out about him? And it made me even more of a hero. He said he looks to structure his contracts the way NBA contracts are structured.
Uh-huh.
And because he did that, because he was one of the first with a 100% guaranteed contract, he literally set the market for other guys who followed, including Jalen Hurts and those guys that followed him, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
so he understands that you get that money up front, but on the back end, they got a lot of tricks to the trade.
Oh yeah.
You might never see any of that money. So congratulations, Kirk Cousins, $180 million quarterback, given a reality check. And it's just so funny to hear him say it's all fake money. Just even coming out from him sounds so, I don't know, definitive or whatever. Like, it's a reality check. So I had to give it to him.
Well, he's got the money, so he can say that.
That's true.
It
That's
ain't fake
true.
to me.
They're looking forward to him down in Atlanta. That's for sure.
They better be.
So, Ben, the United Football League kicked off week 2. Okay. There was a few close games. There were 3 games with game deciding plays in the final moments. Uh, you had a couple record setting performances, including a 62-yard field goal. We talked about the kicker last week. He made 64 yards and a 98-yard pick six. I saw that too.
Oh, cool.
Oh man, I'm telling you. The Birmingham Stallions and the San Antonio Brahmas are both 2-0. DC Defenders and the St. Louis Battlehawks also got some victories. They had a record attendance at the Dome of the Americas there for spring football. So that's growing in
Uh,
popularity.
who's
Um,
the Dome of Americas? Is that St. Louis?
I think so. I'm not super sure, but I think so.
I saw a piece, I think, last year about Battlehawks fans. You know, St. Louis has been dying for a football team ever since the Rams left. And they had some glory days when the Rams were there with the greatest show on turf and all that stuff. So they're really pro football hungry there.
Well, let me tell you, I think I called you because of what was going on at the end of the Brahmas versus the Showboats
Oh
game.
yeah, you told me how that ended. Yeah.
Oh man, so that's what they have here. Dramatic fourth quarter comeback, trailing 19-8 in the final minutes. They scored a touchdown with 48 seconds left. They opted for the 4th and 12 from their own 28. That's what I didn't get right. Wasn't sure where it was from, and got it. And then they converted it, and then they drove down and scored the game-winning touchdown with just 3 seconds left on the clock. So I don't know if the NFL is going to go that far, but they're
No.
leaning in that direction. So that was fun. That was fun to watch, and it was very unusual. So we've got more information on that. We also have the UFL top 10 plays on our Facebook page. Go on down. Once you get to know these teams, the Defenders, the Renegades, the Brahmas, the Battlehawks, the Gamblers, Showboat Stallions, and Panthers. So I haven't picked one that's my team yet, Benny. But I will say this much. I did something real quick that I don't normally do for these teams, and that is to take a look at the net points.
Okay.
So you got two undefeated teams, the Stallions and the Brahmas. They're both 2-0. However, the Stallions lead the league in net points at plus 20. The Brahmas coming in second at plus 16. The Showboats are coming in at plus 5. The Battlehawks at plus 1. Goes negative after that with the Panthers at minus 5. The Defenders at minus 10. The Roughnecks at minus 11. And the Renegades at minus 16. So you got the wide range there. And the XFL, they have two conferences, the XFL conference and the USFL conference. So XFL is the Brahmas, Battlehawks, Defenders, and Renegades. USFL is the Stallions, Showboats, Panthers, and Roughnecks. So those are the conferences for these UFL teams. So I get a chance to watch them, especially when they do a replay during the middle of the week, and I get a chance to watch them. I try to do that. Pretty good, man. Pretty good stuff.
Now I will say this. The Birmingham Stallions are the class of the league. There's no doubt in my mind. They were champs last year, I think, of the USFL. Um, so the way they're playing was expected. But the Brahmas were last place team last year. So for them to start off 2-0 and look as good as they've looked is a bit surprising.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Moving right along. They're going to allow a third helmet, Benny, in the
That's good.
NFL. So you're going to have an away helmet, a home helmet, and what? When we go to Brazil, what's the third helmet going to be used for?
Yeah, just change up with the uniform design. That's cool. I like it.
I didn't really realize that they were so limited that they only had the two helmets, like they were limited like that, you know?
Yep.
It's something I really paid any attention to. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, third helmet. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. All right, Benny. Well, we wanted to go through some of those current events and hot topics, take a quick look at what's going on there. This is where we normally end up, but I'll quickly say, do you have any final words?
No, I'm good, man. Looking forward to the next couple of weeks and keeping track of all the goings on coming up to the draft.
All right, that's what we're going to do. So, as I always say, thanks for following. Please leave comments and suggestions. Our hashtag is football is life. Our website is www.benandbarryonfootball. If you're on YouTube, please click the like button and the reminder button so you'll know when we post our videos. Right on, right on. Peace out.